But isn't that part of the problem with Federalist 39? Because in today's modern world, people, the power of technology has created a situation where legislatures are being pressured by opinion polls that have come out every single day, every single hour. And I wonder if Madison would feel the same way if he were living today. Does power, in fact, emanate from the people?
Well, we see that Madison originally really distrusted the people, and that's why he had the Senate elected by state legislatures in Article 1, Section 3. However, with the passing of the 17th Amendment, this was changed and the power was given to the people, which does bring about the problem of polls and people, or senators who care too much about the general opinion and aren't using their judgment as much.
However, the people are also given an implicit power to legislate in our own state of Oregon, which has the initiative system. And so, if the people themselves can legislate in a way, then the power of polls is somewhat checked.
The framers were clearly afraid of chaos on one hand and tyranny on the other. Based on their actions, of which were they most afraid?
It seems that they were more afraid of chaos because they had passed the Articles of Confederation after the Revolution. However, they found with Shays' Rebellion that the majority was always going to take advantage of the minority, as seen in Massachusetts, where Rhode Island, where the farmers were printing off money to the point where the money actually inflated, and the minority would, the debtors would have so much money that, debtors would have so much money as to the point that the creditors would be paid back so easily, but the money was worthless at the point.
It could also be argued that the founders were more afraid of tyranny after the Revolution than they were of chaos, hence the Articles of Confederation giving too much power to the states, and after the revolutionary euphoria, the spirit of 1776, as Jefferson called it, had worn off, somehow they were able to form a government that was closer, perhaps a more cool-headed government than had been formed after the Revolution.
I would have to agree with Will. The founders were definitely more afraid of tyranny because we can see in the Articles of Confederation, not much power was given in the federal government. They didn't even have the power to tax the people like we do now in our Constitution, Article 1, Section 8.
Despite this, they learned from the many problems under the Articles of Confederation, and while drafting our current Constitution, were very afraid of chaos and anarchy, and therefore they intended to have a legislative body that would be very powerful as well as an executive.
I think we're about so close to time that we're not going to get another question, right?
This was an extraordinarily energetic discussion. We're raising some really interesting issues that I wish we had a lot more time to go on. I thought your original presentation was extraordinarily well organized. I was able to make notes that, looking back at them, I can actually understand, which is unusual for me, even in the best of circumstances. And your discussion and response to our questions, I especially like your willingness to disagree with each other in a thoughtful and respectful manner, something I wish happened in this chamber more often than perchance it does.
I echo everything that was just said. One thing I really like about listening to the panel of six is you really, really know your history. You really understand the nuances of history. And one of the things that sometimes that makes this particular unit one, this question difficult, is we like to talk about what we know today, the world we live in. It's kind of relate that back to the Roman Empire and what the Founding Fathers learned from the Romans and the Greeks. But you really, really kept us back in history. And I think you did a really, really nice job doing that. And I think that's a tough thing to do because we live in the present.
I agree. I think you did a terrific job. You worked very well as a panel, which is hard in a large group like you have. And I didn't even want you nudging each other with your feet, which is often one strategy large teams have. You did a good job of picking up from one another and also letting one another express some ideas. It was a very coherent presentation, and it's a difficult topic, so I especially appreciate that. I'd urge you to think about a couple things. If we fought a revolution and based a government on popular sovereignty, the people are the ultimate source of governing power. Is it possible to have a mixed regime? Or are we mixing apples and oranges? Is separation of powers really a mixed regime? I think Madison would want to take you on a little bit on that. The other thing I would urge you to do is take a little more, perhaps careful look at Madison. There's no sign in the Virginia plan that he mistrusted the people. He proposed a plan that was radically popularly based, and he got whacked upside the head so hard at the convention that he expressed great distress in his diaries and concern, can this work? Once you've taken away the popular base with the creations of institutions like the United States Senate, can that system survive? Somehow he's gotten tagged with being the father of a system that he basically didn't recognize by the end of the convention. So I think we've got to be fair to him and look to the other participants in the Constitutional Convention as well. You guys just did a terrific job. You made me proud to be an Oregonian. Thank you.